Everyone, good evening. Can anyone confirm audible or not?
Yes, sir, audible.
Yes, sir.
So, where we stopped in the last session? The last session, I think we discussed about the multi-threading, right? Let me recap the session. So, let me open our new notes. Yeah, yeah. So, tell me some terminology we discussed right on that day. One is like multitasking. What is multitasking? A very simple answer is like if you do some work, okay, it's like multiple tasks. Work is nothing but just you can say like a task. If you are doing like multiple tasks simultaneously, okay, that has two tasks. Okay, one is like I am writing a program. I am writing a program. At the same time I am listening music. Possible or not possible? Okay, just I open
Possible.
the, I'm writing the program at the same time. Okay, just I'm listening music also in my mission. So can I say these two tasks, whatever I'm performing, those two tasks I'm doing like multitasking or not? Simultaneously, if I'm doing these two tasks, I can say like I'm doing like a multitasking or not. Simply, you can say like a multiple tasks if you are doing like simultaneously, then okay, we can say you are doing like a multitasking. Here, there has two types of multitaskings. There has two types. One is like, okay, process-based multitasking. Another one is like thread-based multitasking. One is like process-based multitasking. Another one is like thread-based multitasking. Okay. What is process-based multitasking? What is process-based multitasking? Here, multitasking is nothing but multiple tasks you have. Okay, this is one task one, and this is tasks two, and like this multiple tasks are there. These multiple tasks, okay, you are executing like simultaneously. Each and every task is running in one process. Okay, is running in one process in your machine, in your laptop or whatever it is, wherever it is. Okay, in your laptop, each and every task is running in one process. That kind of tasks, okay, that kind of tasking, you can say process based multitasking. This is my mission. This is my laptop. Okay, if you see in the task manager, if you go to the process, now see these many process, okay, these many tasks are running is like simultaneously or not. See, run a new task, whatever it is, there has multiple tasks are running simultaneously or not. Each and every task is running in one process or not. Yes or no? Each and every task is running in one process or not in my mission. So in your mission there has multiple tasks are running simultaneously, in each and every task is running in one process. That kind of tasking we can say like a process based multitasking. Process based multitasking is always works at the operating system level. It is always works at operating system level. What my point? Okay, here, multiple tasks are executing simultaneously. Each and every task is running in one process. Each and every task is running in one separate process. Okay, here this is one process. If you want to end, you can end. Okay, this is one process like this. This kind of tasking we can say like a process-based multitasking or not. So, if I, okay, best example is open VS Code. VS Code. Whenever I open VS Code, here my VS Code is running in one process or not. Okay, here my VS Code is running in one process. Okay, now at the same time, I open, for example, there has VLC media player. If I open the VLC media player, that is also run in one process or not. That is also run in one process. Yes or no? So My VS Code is running in one process like this. My VLC media player is running in one process. Okay, those two are running simultaneously or not? Each and every task, VS Code task is running in one process and my VLC media player is running in one process. Okay, now tell me, okay, this kind of multitasking, what we can say, process based multitasking or not? So process based multitasking is always works at OS level, operating system level. What about thread-based multitasking? What about thread-based multitasking? Okay, here it is not at operating system level, it is at the program level. It is at program level. In your program, there has multiple lines of code is there, 100 lines of code is there. Among these 100 lines of code, okay, the 50 lines of code, okay, one section, for example, another 50 lines of code, another section. Now, this 50 lines of code and this 50 lines of code, I want to execute simultaneously. Okay, in my overall, in my program, how many lines of code is there? There has 100 lines of code is there. 50 lines of code is belongs to one section, which is related to one functionality. There has one more 50 lines of code is belongs to one more functionality. And this functionality and this functionality in my program, I want to execute simultaneously, not like a sequence order, not like a synchronous way. Okay, I want to execute both, okay, 50 lines and 50 lines simultaneously. Then that time, by implementing multi-threading, I can do, okay, I can execute these 50 lines of code, this section of code and this section of code is like simultaneously. In your program, if you execute, okay, some piece of code, okay, some section of code, multiple section of code is like simultaneously, that kind of tasking, that kind of multitasking, you can say like a thread-based multitasking. Understood? Okay, first of all, three terminologies we discussed: multitasking, process-based multitasking, and thread-based multitasking. Multitasking means very simple, multiple tasks you are executing simultaneously. Thread-based, process-based, two types of multitaskings are there. Okay, one is like process-based means multiple tasks are executed simultaneously, multiple tasks are executing simultaneously. Each and every task is, okay, running in one process in your operating system. It is always works at operating system level. That kind of multitasking, you can say like a process based multitasking. Thread based is nothing but program level. In your program, there has multiple sections of code is there. These sections of code, if you want to execute simultaneously, okay, it is at program level. That kind of multitasking, what we can say, thread based multitasking or not. Okay, most of the times, normal programming language, okay, normal applications, you may not use multitasking, but most of the times, okay, these multi-threading concept they are going to use in gaming applications. Gaming applications, for example, let's think there has car race game is there. Okay, now you are operating like one car, another person is like operating like another car. Now tell me, in your program, one thread has to execute this core and directions and everything. Another thread has to operate this particular core directions and everything or not. Both cores has to run simultaneously or not. It's not like one by one, okay, simultaneously has to run or not. So in our program, one thread has to handle and operate this core one related section of code. Another thread has to operate core two related section of code or not. Yes or no? Most of the times this thread-based multitasking we are going to use, okay, to implement the gaming kind of applications. Understood, everyone? Clear? Okay, terminology wise all are okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then now, okay, general questions. Our concept is like multi-threading, right? So thread-based multitasking we have to implement. So first of all, I have some code is there, some section of code in function one. Okay, here in my function one, there has some section of code is there. In my function two, there has a section of code is there. Our goal is like what? If you want to implement the thread-based multitasking, if it is like implemented like thread-based multitasking, our goal is what? Okay, tell me, our goal is what? this particular code has to run with one thread, and this particular code has to run with one thread, then only those two tasks are like going or executing simultaneously or not. If I run like this F1 and F2, then what happened? First F1, all the statements got executed. After that, F2 start the execution and it's going to complete the execution. It's like a synchronous way. It is going to execute or not. But our goal is not like that, right? Our goal is like what? My F1 and my F2 should execute like simultaneously or not. Okay, it's not like one by one, it is like parallel, simultaneously has to execute or not. Now tell me which approach. Program level, I want to execute two sections of code simultaneously. Then which concept you want me to, which concept you want me to implement?
Multi-thread.
Multi-threading concept or not, so that, okay, can you do one thing? Okay, whatever the code is there in the f1, okay, f1 is nothing but a function f1. Okay, can you give this particular code to my thread? Okay, can you start the thread? Okay, another one is like, can you create one more thread, f2, can you start this particular thread, it is going to execute this particular code or not? Like that, can you implement? Yes or no? Okay,
Yes,
our
sir.
requirement is what? Okay, I have section of code in F1 function. I have section of code is like F2 function. I want to execute this F1 and F2, okay, simultaneously, not like one by one. Okay, let's implement them. Now let me open our workspace folder. What's that? Yeah, let me delete this one. Yeah. Let me write the first program one.py. Okay, let's write df f1. Okay, next one is like df f2. Okay, now my f1 has some section of code. For example, you can say, okay, just simply 1 to 10 numbers I want to print it. So how we can, okay, print, come on, val inside, okay, 1 to 10 numbers, range 1 comma 11. Can I write like this? Okay, I want to print what? My value.
Van.
Okay, this is okay, this is in my F1 method value. Okay, oh, the same F for val inside, okay, range 1 comma 11. Now print, this time it's like F2 and this is my value. Okay, now can we run F1 method? Can you run F2 method? Okay, now what is the output? Everyone knows.
Remove that string, line number 7.
Line number 7, yeah. Now it's okay, right? Now let's go then. Now everyone knows the answer is like, first my f1 1 to 10 numbers is going to print. After that, my f2 1 to 10 numbers is going to print or not. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now py 1.py. Now the answer is like what? F1 1 to 10 printed, my F2 1 to 10 printed. But this is not actual requirement. Our actual requirement is like what? My this code and this section of code should, okay, should execute simultaneously. Then can I implement what? Multi-threading. Yes or no? First, if you want to implement multi-threading, we have one module is there. That module is like what? Threading is the module. So can I get the module first? Okay, tell me what is module? What is module? What is module Python? Module is nothing but it's a simple Python, okay, simple Python file which contains variables, which contains functions, which contains classes or not. Yes or no? It's like simple Python file. That's it. More than that, nothing. That's it. More than that, nothing. If you want any members, okay, which are inside the module, then the time we have some keywords over there in Python. By using those keywords, we can get those members into your Python file or not. Which keywords are there? Import is there, from is there, as is there, like that. Yes or no? We already completed the modules concept, right? Yes, no. We already completed that module concept or not? Okay, let's go through that one later. Next, now in the module, okay, how many members are there? How we can find it? In the module, how many members are there? How we can find it? Actually, in the module, how many members are there? How we can find it? In the class, how many members are there? How we can find it?
dir.
dir is the one. Okay, here also the same method we have. By using dir method, not only get the members of a class, okay, we can get the members of a module also or not. Okay, let me check it. Okay, cmd. Let's get into our Python environment. dir of what? Threading, right? Threading. Okay. Now, if you come here, name threading is not defined. By default, threading is not available. So that you have to import it first. Can I get it? Import. Come on. Threading or not? Okay. Now my threading is available in this particular context. Now, dir of what? Come on. Dir of what? Threading or not? So, now see that in my threading module, these many members are there or not? These many members are there or not? Now module contains what? What is that? Module contains variables, methods, classes, and everything or not? So in my threading module, there has one class is there. There has one class is there. Okay, how we can come to know this is like a class or not? Okay, by using type. Which class is there, you know? Okay, the class name is like thread only the class. Somewhere you can find the thread. The thread is the class. Thread is the class. Did you find anywhere?
In the second line.
This is the one or not? Okay, this is my thread class. Okay, which module? My thread class inside. Threading is the module. Threading is the module. So using this thread class, I can create the thread. Okay, I can give this particular method execute by for one thread, and this method I can give it execute by another thread or not. So that first of all, I want to create a thread, and then I can give this particular F1 to one thread, I can give this F2 to another thread or not. So how we can create the thread? That is the question. Okay, by using which class? By using which class?
Thread class.
Thread class. It is inside which module?
Threading module.
Threading module. So that, okay, I don't want, if you write like this is like, okay, this importing is like what? Explicit. Okay, everything is like in the threading, how many members are there? All are available here. Do you want all the members at this moment? No, right? No, right? Those all members not available. Which member is okay? Those all members are available, but that is not required for me. Which members are required for you? Which
Thread
member?
class is
Okay,
thread
only
class.
one member. That is like what?
Thread.
Thread class member or not? Yes or no? Thread class member or not? Okay, so how we can import it? Only one member
From threading, import thread.
from threading module. Okay, I want to import thread or not. This is the way. From import, okay, from threading module, okay, I want to import what? Thread or not. Okay, let me go to our workspace. So let's go to the Python. Tell me. From threading module, I want to import what? Thread. I want to import thread. Okay, this is like syntactically valid or invalid. Okay, now can I print dir of what? Thread. Can I print type of what? Thread. Okay, now can you check it? Can you check it? What's wrong with this?
T should be capital in third line.
Okay. Now observe here, my thread is like which type? It's a class type or not? Inside the thread, okay, inside the class, these many members are there. These many members are there. Okay, we can discuss. Okay, required members we can discuss. Okay, first of all, I have the thread. So can I create an object for this particular thread class? Okay, how we can create an object for this particular thread class? Okay, if it is like a class, how we can create an object? Everyone knows. Just you can call it, right? Yes or no? Yes. It returns me what?
Object.
It returns me what? One object. Okay, thread object it is going to return or not? Yes or no? Now, how many threads are required? Like this, how many threads are required?
2 threads.
2 threads are required. Okay, 2 threads are required for me. So let me run it. Okay, this is one thread. This is one thread. Okay, can I create one more thread? Can I create one more thread? Okay, so how we can create one more thread? T2 is equals to okay thread. Can I print okay the type of T1? Okay, what's the answer? If I print type of T1, what is my answer? Class threading thread. Okay, that is nothing but what? It is an object of which class? It is an object of which class?
Thread class.
Thread class or not? Okay, done. You have a thread. Okay, you have a thread. Then what you have to do? You have a thread. Then what you have to do? You have to start the thread or not? You have to start the thread. Okay, now my thread also it's like okay have their own life cycle. Okay, my thread also having their own life cycle. First of all, my thread, whatever you created, that is like what? Create a thread is nothing but just it's like born. Okay, it's like a new state or not. Just you can say like a new state. Whenever you create an object for this particular thread, just my thread is available. It's a kind of okay new state, just born. It's like a born state or not. It's like a born state, new state, or okay, born. Okay. After that, once you created a thread, it doesn't mean like it is like running or not. Yes or no? Okay, just it's like born. Now, once my thread created, okay, now the next stage is what? Come on.
Start the thread.
Okay, here, once my thread is created, okay, now you have to tell, hey, I'm ready to start like this. Okay, you are ready to start. Just you born, you are not ready. You are not ready. Okay, after some time, you are ready to start or not. If anybody start, I can run it or not. Yes, or no? So once my thread created, it's like a born state. After a born, it is entered into another state. It is like a ready state. Okay. Now the next stage is like a ready state. Ready. Okay, a ready state. Or you can say like a runnable. I can run. I can run. Got my point? Okay, now I said like, yeah, I'm ready to run. Then the time, what is the next state? If you are ready to run, okay, you can start, okay, run, okay, you can start this thread or not. Whenever you start the thread, now it is entered into which state?
Running state.
Running, right? It is entered into a running state or not? It is entered into running state. Once it is start running, the next one is like what? Okay, after some time it reach the goal. Okay, there it is going to stop. That is one case. Another case is what? Another case is what? There may be some interruptions also, right? Okay, in between, maybe my thread is like what? Somewhere it is going to stop and then it is going to resume. This kind of okay stuff also happened or not in between? Yes or no? There is two things. One is like my running thread interrupted by some other things, external things. Another one is like, okay, my running thread is like directly reach the goal or not. Okay, there it is going to stop. Is nothing but it is like a dead state or not. Yes or no? It is like dead state or not. Okay, now here there has some interruptions also. Finally, it should have to reach where? Finally, it should have to reach where? After some time also, the goal is what? After some time also, what is the goal? Okay, finally it has to reach the destination and it has to die or not. Yes or no? Come on. Okay, so whenever you created a thread, it's a kind of new thread you created. It's like a born state. After some time, okay, it is entered into a runnable state or not. Hey, I'm ready to run. Okay, once you start the thread, it is entered into running state. Once it is right, start running. Okay, after some time, it is going to reach the destination. Okay, the goal reached. There, it is going to die. While running, okay, there are some interruptions due to something. Okay, we're running. Just my thread is going to enter into sleep state. That is also one possible thing is there or not. We discussed about the what is sleep. Okay, like that, there has some external things also affected on my running thread. That's the reason. Okay, there may be it's like blocked due to some external stuff. Okay, once after block, okay, once it is like blocked, after some time it is going to resume again. Okay, now after some time it's like resumed, right? Okay, it will come to it will come to the destination, right? Okay, now once it reaches the destination, finally it's going to die or not. This one we can say like what? Life cycle of this thread. This one we can say like a life cycle of the thread. Okay, now our thread in our program, our thread is like in which state? It is like what? You just created a thread. Okay. After some time, it is ready to run. So once it is ready to run, who has to run? As a programmer, you have to run it or not? As a programmer, you have to run it. So how we can run this thread? As a programmer, you have to run it. How we can run the thread? We have a thread object, right? In the thread class, there has multiple members over there. One of the member, did you observe or not? Okay, one of the member called as a start is there. One of the member called as what? Start. Now, if you come here, there has multiple members over there in the thread class. One of the member is what? Start is there or not? Okay, so that can we start the thread? So how we can start the thread? T1 dot which method is there? Start. Okay, how many threads like this we have? 2 threads, right? So I started another thread also. Now if we run this program, what exactly the output was? If I run this program, what exactly the output was? What is my output? Tell me, what is my output? Nothing. Why? Because you created a thread, but did you assign any work to this thread? Hey thread, can you execute this F1? Hey thread, can you execute this F2? Like that, did you mention anywhere in your program? Like that, did you mention anywhere in your program?
No.
No, right? Okay, our goal is what? Our goal is like F1 and F2 has to execute simultaneously, right? But that kind of implementation is not okay. You didn't. Okay, you not implemented as per your requirement, so that somewhere you have to mention, you have to give this F1 to my thread, okay, T1, F2 to my thread T2 or not. Yes or no? Okay, so how we can give it? Okay, while creating a thread itself, okay, can I give my F1 function to this guy? While creating this thread, can I give, okay, F2 possibilities here and here. Another possibility is there what? Okay, for my start also, you can give it or not. Okay, if it is not work, we can go with the start. Okay, now let me run this. Let me run this. Now it gives me some error. What is that error? Can you read it properly? Now, if you observe here, okay, group argument must be none for now. Okay, that means what? Group argument is like must be none. Okay, group argument is like none for now. They are expecting some value with one variable. If you not pass the value to the particular variable in Python, what is the default value for that particular variable? You are like
None.
you are like expecting some data for one variable. Okay, but that particular value they not passed. What is my default value for that particular variable? Most of the times it's like none in Python or not. In JavaScript, it's like undefined. Okay, in Java, based on your type, if it is like int 0, float 0.0, string null, like that. Okay, here in Python, okay, it's a kind of what? It's a kind of Okay, none. So you are giving, but they are not expecting like this. They are expecting, okay, with one variable, this particular value. But that variable you not used here. That's the reason. What is the default value for that variable? None. So that, okay, you have to pass this one as like a value to that particular variable or not. So what is that variable? You know, okay, target is the one. Target. Okay, now can anyone tell me if I write this code like this, what kind of argument this is? What kind of argument this is? This is what kind of argument? Come on, if you pass, there is multiple types of arguments over there in Python, right? Positional argument is there, default argument is there, keyword argument is there,
Keyword argument.
length is there, keyword variable length is there. This is which kind of argument? This is commander. Keyword argument, right? Keyword argument, right? The default argument also like this only, but the default argument at the time of defining the function. But here you are defining the function or you are calling the function. Come on, you are calling or defining?
Calling.
Calling, right? If you are calling, that time if you pass like a key value pair like this, that is which kind of arguments? Default or keyword?
Keyword.
Keyword argument, right? Keyword argument or not. Now, if you run this, now you can see the output. Now, these two functions are executing like simultaneously or not. See, F1, F1, F2, okay, up to here, but again F2, see that's F2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, F1, F2, F1, F2, like this, simultaneously, parallelly, those are executed or not. Yes, no. Got the point? This is one way of creating a thread and perform some operation. One way of creating a thread. There has one more way also there to create a thread. Do you know that one? Okay, this is what? Create an object. Okay, create an object for thread class. Create an object for thread class. Another one is like what? Anyone knows? What is next? Another way. Create a thread. Another way is what? Come on. Extending our class from the thread class or not. You created an object for the thread class. You created an object for the thread class. Okay, now another way is what? Another way is what? Your class, you have to create a class now. Okay, you have to create a class. Your class has to extend from thread class. Okay, like that also you can create the thread. So can we check another way? Shall we? Let's go there. Now, in this case, inherit. Okay, extends is the keyword in Java, but here you have to tell like inherit. Okay, your class should inherit from which class? Threading class. Your class should inherit from which class? Threading class. Okay, so how we can? Your class should extend from thread class. So how we can? Come on, requirement not changed. Requirement is like same only. If your class is extends or inherit from thread class, first of all, thread class is required. Thread class inside which module? Threading module. So from which module? Threading module. I want to import what? I want to import thread. From threading module, I want to import thread. Now, can I create one class here? Can I create one class here? Now, just you can write any number of methods. Yes, no. You can write any number of methods. Yes, no. Come on. Now,
Yes.
can I create one more class? B. Okay. Here, you can write any number of methods. Yes, no. Okay. Done. I have two classes. I have two classes. Okay, the first class, okay, F1 has, okay, this kind of requirement only. Can I copy this? Just you can add. The requirement is this one. Now give the tab. Now here, okay, give the tab. You have to follow the indentation, right? Okay, then. Now, first, don't think about the threading concept. Just I want to print 1 to 10 numbers, 1 to 10 numbers. Then how we can? 1 to 10 numbers, 1 to 10 numbers, I want to print it. How we can?
We have to create an object for
Create
the
an
class.
object for A class, create an object for B class. You have to call F1, you have to call F2 or not. Yes, no. Okay, let's go then. How we can create an object? obj1 equals to
A call.
Okay,
A
next
call.
obj1 dot F1. Next,
F1.
obj2 equals to B and
B call.
okay, obj2 dot F2. Okay, will it work or not work?
It will work.
Not work. Exact output tell me. Whenever it is like instance method, they passed one variable by default or not, one argument by default or not. Yes or no? Okay, missing one required positional parameter. Missing one required positional parameter error, you can get it. Missing one required positional parameter or okay. Here, okay, how many? Okay, missing not. You are giving like how many? One you given. Yes or no? If you given like one, that one you have to hold it, right?
Yes.
What is that one?
Self.
Self, current class object or not? You want me to use self or anything you can use it?
Anything we can use.
You can use it. Okay, it's like a reference, that's it. But naming convention wise, it's like self or not. Okay, in JavaScript, okay, what is this one?
This.
This in
This.
Java, this only.
This.
Okay, self you can use it. Now come here. Expected or not, but this is not our requirement. Nah? This is not our requirement. Our goal is what? This particular F1 and this particular F1 has to execute simultaneously, right?
Yes.
Yes or no? So another way of creating the thread that is possible through multi-threading. If it is like possible multi-threading, you have to go with the life cycle, right? Life cycle is what? Create the thread. Okay, once you create it, after some time it is ready for start. You have to start it, then it is going to enter into running. Okay, this particular life cycle has to complete or not. So you have to create a thread. So two ways. First way you already completed. Directly create an object for the thread class. But this time, okay, my class is inherit from thread class.
Thread.
Okay, so how we can inherit it? Like this, right?
Yes.
Okay, now tell me, my A class and my B class, both are like what?
Both are like siblings.
Okay, not like that. A class and a B class extends, okay, inherit from thread means my A class has my own member F1 as well as my one. Which
The
members?
members which are coming from thread class.
Thread class members also or not? Thread class members also or not? Here also, my B has my own members and my thread class members also or not? Now, if you go to my thread class, how many members inherited into my A and B classes? How many members inherited into my A and B classes? These many members, right? Okay, from here underscore underscore, you can leave it. Okay, daemon is there, get name is there, indent is daemon is alive like this. There has one method also there, run also there. Okay, we have to work with run. Okay, now? Okay, then. Now, whenever you create an object for this particular one, whenever you create an object, this particular one, okay, I want to start the thread. I want to start the thread. If you want to start the thread, my thread class methods inherit into which class? A class, right? Which method you want me to use to create, okay, to start the thread? Now you create an object for A. Okay, now I want to start the thread. My thread class members inherited into which class?
Into A.
You create an object for children means indirectly you are creating an object for what? Parent also. Okay, think like that. Why? Because I can call the parent class members also or not. Which member you want me to call to start the thread? Come on.
T1 dot start.
Start, right. Okay, here can I write like a T2? Whenever one second. Yeah. So whenever you create an object for this particular B is inherited from thread class. So my thread class members also I can call it or not. So how we can call my thread class members? Okay, T2 dot. Come on. Which member you want me to call to start the thread?
Start.
Start or not? Okay. Now if you run this one, will you get your expected output? Expected output is what? F1 and F2 should execute simultaneously. That is my expected output.
Correct.
Okay, can I run it? Py
Yes.
2.py. Nothing. Why? It is not gives me any output, means this F1 and F2 called or not called? Simply
Not called.
not called, right? Not called, right? Then how you want me to call? So possible ways. Okay, you can call like this. You can call like this. If I call like this, it is a right call only. But if I call like this, these are executed like simultaneously, or these are executed like one by one.
One by one.
By one.
Okay, this is not our requirement, right? Yes or no? Then how? Whenever I start the thread, okay, whenever I start the thread, my goal is like what? T1 dot start means this F1 has to be execute. T2 dot start means this F2 has to be execute. That is my business requirement. Then how?
Okay.
That is the question. Understood?
Yeah.
Can anyone knows?
We can override start method.
We can override the start method. Okay, can I write it? Okay, you can. Can I write it? Okay, na? Now df start. Okay, na? Start. From here, can I call f1 as you said? Okay, how we can call my f1? How we can call my f1?
Self dot f1.
Self is required, right? Self dot f1. Okay, na? Now here also, can I?
Yes.
Df start. Here self dot f2. Okay, na? Satisfied? This is only, right? You're expecting?
Yes.
Now, can I run it? This is which kind of concept? This is which kind of concept?
Overriding.
Overriding. Perfect. Overriding or not? Whatever the parent has by default available to the children, okay, I'm not satisfied with that, so that just you can override it or not. Okay, now can I run py 2.py? Now, yes, executed, but your expected output came or not? Check it. F1, F2, F1, okay, F1 10, F2 10. Is my thread created? Is my thread created? Is it executed my F1 and F2 simultaneously?
No.
No, right? No, right? Then, okay, this is right approach only. Right approach only. But my thread created or not created? Thread not created. Simply like it is like create an object for A class and first looking for start method in the A class. If it is looking for the start method in the A class, it will go to the parent or not go to the parent?
It will not go to the parent.
Not go to the parent. Not go to the parent. If it is not go to the parent, then the time what? It's like normal start only, na?
Correct.
Normal start only, na? Whenever my parent start executed, then it is going to start the thread. Why? Because like that they written in the thread class or not? Yes, no?
Yeah.
So this is not the right approach. Okay, approach, there is no errors, nothing, but thread not created or not. When my thread is created, when my thread is going to start, whenever you call the parent class start method. Whenever you call the parent class start method. Got my point? Okay, so that, okay, nothing is there. Simply you override start method. Na? We have one more method is there, just you can override it. Okay, na? Which method that is? Run method. Run. Okay, now can I call my F1 from here? Can I call my F1? Okay, here, can I override which method? Here also, can I override which method? Run method. Can I call my F2 here or not? Will it work or not work? After that, you can explain. Okay, will it work or not work? Can we check it? Now, py 2.py. Now, observe here, F1, F2, F3, F2 started. That means simultaneously executed or not executed? Yes, no? Come on,
Yes, sir.
simultaneous executed or not? Executed, right? Can anyone explain me now? Can anyone explain me now? Come on. I create an object for this particular class. Whenever I call the start method, my start method, where it is, in my thread class start method you called or not. Whenever you called the thread class start method, whenever you call the thread class start method, my thread class start method execute which method? They already written. Execute which method?
Run method.
Run
Run
method
method.
or not? Run method or not? Yes or no? Run method they executed. Run method parent one, not thread class run method, your class run method. That is an important.
We have overridden.
Your method. If you not having this one, then that which class method executed? Which run method executed?
Thread
Parent
class.
class.
Thread class. Thread class run method is nothing. Okay, that is like an empty pass, you can say. Got my point? So that now, if you follow this approach, make sure you have to override which method in your class.
Run method.
Run method or not. You should have to override. You should have to override the run method in your class. Got my point? So there has two ways we can create the thread. One is like you can create an object for the thread class directly. You can give whatever you want, okay, using target as a keyword argument. Another way is like your class is inherit from thread class, and override run method, you can create an object for that particular class. You can start the thread. These are the two ways you can create what? You can create your thread. Okay, na?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, then we'll continue remaining things in the next session.
Sir, Happy New Year in advance.
Yeah, thank you. Happy New Year to all. Advance. Okay, then we'll continue remaining things in the next session. Okay, tomorrow. Thank you, guys.